Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the Long Island Daily Roast. My name is Sally Oda.
My name is Gary Lombardi.
And today we have
And
a really special guest, Thomas Francis. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on, folks? Again, Thomas Francis, the Long Island Airstream Experience here. Excited to be hanging out with you guys today.
We were taking a look
great.
at the website. This is like a little bit of a delayed podcast. We were trying to get a hold of Thomas. We thought we weren't going to get a hold of him. We finally got him on the show. You guys are going to love this one. We took a look at the website. Some really cool stuff we're going to be talking about today, and I can't wait to hear from Thomas's mouth in particular. So, Thomas, before we even show them the product, tell me where this idea came from.
All right, so for myself, I went to Drexel University back in the day. It's from the 2001 to the 2001 area. So college didn't work out great for me. And as I'm kind of transitioning out, I was in the Philadelphia area and just didn't have anything kind of going on for myself. So while I was there, I worked as a part-time brand ambassador for the My Father Cigar Company. That's kind of one of my first jobs that I had. I can't even say straight out of school because I flunked out of school. So again, learning the cigar industry, man, it's always been a part-time thing for me. And as I became involved with other stuff, it was always something that I leaned on. So right around kind of flash forward 15 years later, again, I'm still involved in the cigar industry and I just love it. And I actually worked my way up from a part-time brand ambassador to now I was traveling the country and doing big corporate events, trade shows, things like that. Me and my wife were getting ready to have a kid at that time, and she wanted kind of me to stop traveling the country, but I didn't want to stop doing what I was doing. So I decided that I was going to go full on in with the cigar stuff. But coming from a background, I didn't have a ton of money. I didn't really have a good idea of what I wanted to do. So I decided that I was going to take the cigar and spirit stuff that I was doing before and create kind of like a wedding experience. And that's where in late 2016, early 2017, I launched my first company called the Long Island Cuban Cigar and Bourbon Experience, which I still operate today. And it started off as a wedding business. I would come in with a cigar table and spirits, really decorate it up nice and be like a cigar sommelier at your wedding, and pair up spirits and cigars and give it a real different look than your normal cigar roller that comes in. And it was great. Everyone loved it. Did a ton of events. But every time on a day like today, right, where it's cold and raining outside, nobody can go outside and have a cigar. So I said, shoot, man, I got to come up with something that no matter what, we can be outside having a cigar or still enjoy that cigar environment. And that's where I came up with the mobile cigar and bourbon lounge. I purchased my first Airstream late 2017, refabbed it into a whole cigar and bourbon Airstream lounge, and launched it in early 2018. And that's sort of kind of the beginning of the journey there.
That is sick. I mean, I love cigars. I love spirits.
It's a blast.
And you know what? Nobody ever forgets that experience when you're sitting down with a friend, and I've been to cigar lounges that are like you would never even know they were there. You go through an alley, hook a left, first door on your right. You walk in and you got all like the Himalayan salt, and everywhere you go is always decorated differently. But the whole mobile deal is a crazy idea. Let's take a look at, because I did see the picture there. So,
thank you.
All right,
and
we're here.
I'm kind of on my third iteration, right? The one that you're looking at, kind of there in the photo, that's my second cigar and bourbon lounge. I just launched another one this past January, ultra luxury, and it came out great. But, and as you can kind of see in the folks probably looking at home, it's turned into something more than that, right? For me, it was always then about being in my lane and being a cigar guy. But as I started doing these events and started talking to see sort of the issue and what I call the adult party market, you can call up a ton for your kids, right? You get bounce houses, you get clowns, you get music, you can get paint a face stuff like kids. But when you look at the adult market, there's nothing that exists for adults that will come to your home to have a really good time, right? Yeah, you can get the personal chef and you get a tent company, you get a DJ, but that's about it. So there's really nothing that sort of again allows an all-in-one experience for adults to have a really good time again at home, or they throw a party or a big corporate event. This is where this became geared to. So as I was just thinking about, oh cool, so I can bring a cigar lounge to your home. Well, what does everyone else love on the island? Well, it's the vineyards. Man, it'd be cool if we could bring the vineyard right to your home and give you sort of that,
That experience.
yeah, that charcuterie board with the cheeses and the fruits and the wines and all the games. And that's where I launched in then late 2018, my wine and cheese experience. And then from there, just again, just going back and forth. Same thing. What if you could bring a brewery to your house, right? I put all of Long Island's best breweries inside of Airstream. We bring it to you. Same thing, taco and tequila, right? It would have been a really cool margarita, tequila cocktail, tacos to your house. Same thing. And again, it's not just about the food. It's not just about the drink. We come with everything. We come with the furniture, the tables, the chairs, the tailgate games. We come with the servers, the waiters.
You bring the party to the house.
Music. It's a party entertainment experience. It really is. It's a party in a box, man. It's so much fun.
That sounds awesome. Great. You got great energy with that. Yeah. So how long now have you been doing this?
So technically, since really, let's call it the start of 2018.
2018.
So, yeah, essentially, this is my fourth year in the business. Currently, I have 11 Airstreams now, slated to have 17 by the end of the year. We're doing some really cool concepts, getting into a lot of what I'm calling now the entertainment arm of what I'm trying to do. So a lot of that stuff is on the website, and it's going to be a really fun year.
So you have 11 Airstreams now?
Currently.
Yep. How many people do you have working for you?
So I have roughly 22 employees. We'll probably by the end of the year be a 35 employee company and steadily growing.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's great.
How steady would you say the work is?
So this is my quiet time of the year, right? Like usually we kind of wrap up by the second week of December with some holiday parties. And then we have our typical off season. Usually by Christmas time we're quiet. We're quiet all the way through up until today, St. Patrick's Day. And then next week we'll have a couple parties by the end of March. Then by April, we're about 7 days a week because not only do we have all the weekend stuff that's happening, we do a ton of golf outings. I do roughly about close to 80, 90 golf outings for the year. All the charities, fundraisers, corporate events, they all start up. So, and it's such a unique thing that people just really gravitate towards it. And it just lends itself to this unique experience you can't see or get anywhere else.
Yeah, that's it really is. So for the most part, so you go to the location, whether it be the house, you go there and set up, and depending if they want to have drinks and cigars or cheese or whatever it is, and you set that party experience for them.
Yeah, and then because there's multiple units, right, you can really customize a lot of, we have people who do so many multiple trailer events, triple trailer events. And that's where, again, getting into things like this year, where we'll have a gaming trailer. We'll have a bowling alley inside an Airstream, an axe throwing one. You can really create an event that, A, doesn't exist anywhere else in the world, but will leave just that lasting memory and experience that's, again, tailored to the actual adult market.
So a couple of questions along those lines. So I just lost my thought. The second half of the thought is saying, how long do these events typically go? And then what can someone expect the cost is for an event, whether it be, so if you can give us an idea of how they range, length of time and cost, depending on how much time.
Sure. So all of our parties are 3-hour parties, which we feel is the sweet spot. But I mean, so many parties that we do, people have such a great time that they're adding on extra hours as they go. Hey, man, just keep the party going. And they all start at 25 people. We can support up to 150 people at a time per trailer. Wow. Multiple trailers. Again, we can throw bashes for 200, 300 plus people.
Wow.
And again, they all range in price. They're anywhere between with our cigar and bourbon ones starting $2,300 all the way up to, again, our boozy brunch, which is $2,799, which is $2,800. Because again, they were bringing in food and drink and other stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, again,
and I guess with the bourbon setup, they surely want to go longer, right? They may set up for 3 hours, but once you get going and you're smoking cigars and having bourbon, it's like, let's hang out, money's no object, and stay there till the morning, right?
I mean, again, these things are loaded with entertainment too. Like our cigar and bourbon one has 3 TVs, a TV inside and 2 TVs outside. So we're doing a ton of March Madness stuff this week. Again, we have a lot of baseball stuff coming up. I do a big opening day Mets tailgate. Again, these things lend themselves to such a good time. And again, you're never going to see anything like this on this scale that, again, you can bring to your home and throw an incredible, memorable experience.
That's awesome.
It really is. It really is. It's incredible. Yeah, go ahead, Sal.
And honestly, that's not even for what you're getting. That's really peanuts to start the party.
I'm proud to say, like, again, amidst everything that's kind of gone on, again, we know, food prices we haven't changed our pricing since last year, and we're going to keep our pricing the same this year. When you compare what the value that we bring against just a normal food truck, it's not even apples to apples. I mean, we blow the value out of the water, and simply put, is because we're about delivering the best experience possible, right? I always hated when I throw a party that you have people come over, right? You're worried about, all right, do I have enough plates, cups, and napkins? You're setting all that stuff up. You're cleaning up. You're chasing after, did this food go out? Did this food? Is this person? And you all of a sudden you lose the party. You're not enjoying it yourself. And that, to me, I always hated that. So this literally, we bring everything for you. You worry about nothing, and you spend 3, 4, 5 hours actually enjoying yourself, actually enjoying our services. And again, we just make it so easy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what areas do you cover? Different states also, Jersey, Philadelphia, New York?
Sure. So mainly right now, just Long Island, and then the other actual surrounding counties. Like we'll do Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx. But during our slower season, we will go to like Rockland County. We will do some stuff in Jersey and Connecticut. Hopefully in the next year or so, we're going to be looking to open our Jersey branch, start expanding into that market. Our Connecticut branch, start expanding into that market. But now again, I'm getting into real experimental stuff. The actual event stuff. Again, we're attacking just the entertainment piece of it now because we kind of have the food and drink and beverage thing down pat. We want to bring in other experiences that, again, next year I'm looking to do a golf simulator. Next year we're looking to do for kids a pirate and a princess experience. Really engage them in a way they've never had before, and something that's so super unique. And once we have that down, I think then we'll start to double up on trailers, right? Because if you're not booking me now, you won't be able to come next month and go, hey, let me get a Saturday in July. Like there's just no way.
Yeah.
So that's, again, we'll start doubling up on trailers. This thing is really primed for some growth. And it's just, again, you'll never see anything like it.
It's like a pop-up event, it's a pop-up event, but it's innovative. Like you said, the golf simulators just came out. So staying in front of that curve with any business, is key. And with the model you have, like I turned this website, I went on this website and I'm looking at these things and I'm like, I don't know how I never came across this. This is something cool. And like you have a gaming trailer too, right?
Yeah, so that's coming out next month, and that's going to be revolutionary, right? When you see these gaming trailers across the scope, again, they get real targeted, and it's just about, let me take your kids in, let me, just knock this out and move. This will be nothing like that. This will be a really tailored experience for everyone, including adults. So they'll come in, they'll have the latest systems, PS5 and Xbox, that's great. But then on the end caps of the trailer, we're doing something really, really different than you see out there. One thing, we're going to have a stand-up pedestal arcade. Any arcade game you have ever played at any time, any period of your life will be in there. You could play anything you want. Even some of the older console games will be on that pedestal, right? So it'll really appeal to older adults. On the flip side, there'll be beverages for the kids. They can get sodas, juices, whatever. But on the other side, there's going to be a built-in kegerator that will have beer, wine, and soda, and the taps will go outside. So now, again, adults can walk up, get beer, wine, and soda. There'll be 2 large flat screen TVs outside with all the sports. We'll have a direct TV hookup and a bunch of cornhole and other games outside. So it really involves everyone, right? I just don't drop my kid off and just, kind of stand there as a parent. Oh, I got to talk to people now. Now, again, the adults can have a good time. It really brings home everything, and it's a real experience.
Incredible.
Truly is.
Yeah, it's going to be sick.
Incredible. So, how'd you do?
Yeah, again, it's just from what I see in the market. Again, there's nothing that attacks this level and segment of the market where we're just delivering something that no one else is doing, that no one else is bringing to you, And again, it's going to allow you to, you know, you don't have to piecemeal stuff. Cool. I got to call. All right. So I have the food. Now I got to call the DJ. Now I got to call.
I got to call
this guy.
for chairs or tables and napkins, whatever it may be. Yes.
You make one call.
So I got two questions.
Sure.
The first one is how do the permits work for something like this?
Sure. So that's the rub in all this, right? We can't do any public events. We're all private licensed, so it all has to be at your home. And because, again, when you make the purchase, all the alcohol is already included that you're buying. There's no private alcohol license for it. But our actual servers and bartenders, all tip certified, all licensed. So we make it easy for you that. It's, again, like having a normal bartender service there. And same thing, we have the normal insurance stuff, but we don't do any public events. That's where, again, unfortunately, because we're licensed as a private caterer, we can only come in and do private events like that.
So block parties are out of the question.
Well, again, that's a private event because technically you're closing that down. So that's
it's organized, I guess, yeah.
But you won't see us at a fair or a festival, though.
Is there any competition in this business, Thomas?
So this is the only thing that exists in the world. Period. Stop. I mean, you have some other folks. You might see a cigar lounge in Texas, but nothing to the scope that we've done with the cigar and bourbon thing. There is no other Airstream business related like this, or has taken it to the scope.
Well, you have 11 buses and you got 20 some odd employees, so you got a lot of action going on there, you know?
Absolutely.
No, well, again, he did the right thing.
Thank you. This is something that we look to replicate again throughout a couple markets, and we're going to get involved in some other stuff too, right? Like we want to look at some Airstream Airbnbs. As our other segment is right, you can call us up and you can rent campers, Airstream campers that we've redone totally on the inside. They're beautiful. We have a mountain house theme one. We have a tree house theme one. We have a country farmhouse theme one. What we're going to do at some point is we're looking to get some land, come out east. So now you can get that real Airstream experience. Stay at one of our Airstream Airbnbs, and now sort of have a gateway and a key out to the east. We want to open a real live dog park with a mobile bar in it. So you come in, AstroTurf, we'll set up an Airstream mobile bar. You bring your dog, can hang out, cocktails, relax, a really cool vibe to the actual dog park idea that we have. So we have some really cool stuff coming down the ropes. It's something that, again, is going to be really, 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 really cool and really different.
So school is not your thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I thought it was, right?
Yeah.
I did pretty well in high school, and
I understand. I feel the same way, but you know what? You pursued your talent and your passion, and you know what? That's a great education.
Yeah,
you know
it really is. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from the experience. I mean, again, I went in. I wanted to be a biomedical engineer at Drexel University. Went down to Drexel and found out really quick I was not a biomedical engineer. So,
you just wasn't. You weren't passionate enough about it either. You know
what? Everything, and that's what for me is important. Everything that has led me up to this has been an important life experience that I've built on and gleaned from those experiences, and kind of really relayed that into my next steps.
Yes, I think.
I don't fault any of it. It was really
I mean, bottom line, you gotta love what you do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Bottom line, that's it. I still attack the business the first way that I ran it. Day one is still the way I'm attacking it today.
That's great.
You all right, Sean?
Yeah. So I had another question about.
Sure.
Now this is it. I need to know this one because I already have the answer in my head, but I got to hear it from your mouth. How did this do during COVID?
So that was one of the things that ultimately surprised me, and it's again one of the things that I'm really blessed and grateful for. Right. So obviously everything that COVID happened, and then we get to June, right, where they announced the stage 4 reopening stuff. My phone never stopped ringing because again it lent itself to that experience where I could still bring it to your house. We could still all be outside, right?
Sure, yeah.
Mask up still, everything was, but
distance, fresh air, yeah.
And again, there was no bars open, no restaurants open, no breweries, no wineries. All of a sudden, when I'm bringing a mobile brewery to you, a mobile vineyard to you, we were 7 days a week. We never stopped working.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, you had to be, you know what, having a business like that in place must have been, like, sick because it fell right into your lap as far as what people could do and couldn't do.
Super blessed. It was one of those right time, right place type things. And again, I have to give a shout out to all my employees, to Alex and the Hostess for Hire and all those guys that just we hustled. I mean, again, in uncertain circumstances that, we still kind of were being cautious and leery. It worked out beautifully, and it was one of the things that kind of COVID kind of springboarded me. But
you were blessed. Yeah,
I was. I really.
Yeah, it was beautiful. You know what? You just kept your energy in the right place. You stayed positive. You stayed grateful, and you know what? Things just worked out for you. You know?
And again, it really helped kind of identify that underlying thing that we just saw. Like, dude, there is such a market for this, and again, it's kind of proven itself last year. It's really proving itself this year.
I love it. You know what? There is a market for that. I'm listening. I say that's a wonderful way to have a party. Right at the location. You don't have to do a thing. You can bring everything there. You set up, and it's just it's
Gary, look at it this way, Gary. Like even for like these like baby showers. I have a baby, right? I'm looking to do a baby shower. Now I want to go to a catering hall. It's going to run me anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000. Where easy. I could have two of his Airstreams there and throw a party of they've never seen in their life.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And that's where and Sal, you're so right. Like, that's where really it comes in. And again, now you don't have to leave, and you can drink safely, you can eat safely, like you can be in your own abode, and it's a great feeling. And then when the party's over, you just wipe your hands and you walk into your house. People love it. They really do. They appreciate the service, and our folks are great.
What's now your future vision on this business? Where would you like to see yourself, and how do you see yourself in the next several years?
I appreciate that. So kind of like what we were talking about this year. I mean, when you go back to the website, you'll scroll down. You'll see that again. We have a gaming trailer, a bowling alley coming out, an axe throwing. We have a movie theater, a real movie theater. We'll bring to your home that popcorn soda. We'll do inflatable furniture.
Wow.
We have a Polar Express Airstream coming out this year. We'll bring the Polar Express right to your house. So that's the quote unquote entertainment piece that I'm envisioning this year. And then again, just a couple more pieces next year. But kind of like what I talked about, right? Doubling up on the trailers that we have now, because we book out so fast and so quick that we need one of each trailer. And then just again continuing, we get so many calls from Jersey that we just, hey, I'm sorry, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we have no bandwidth to get to you. Maybe we can get to you on a Tuesday. You want to have a Tuesday party? So that's again getting into those markets. There's a ton of availability to get into stuff with Connecticut and Jersey, but this is going to be a franchisable thing that comes down the road that you'll be able to bring to market in your state.
I put it in my notes to ask you about future and franchising. Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. I've seen companies like this in the past that once they establish a great model, that they start to reach out to another state and distance, and that's where they start to franchise it.
Absolutely.
Take my money. I'm in.
And
Gary, unload that bank account.
It really is, man.
And you know what?
Cool biz.
And you know what else, Sal? I want to ask Thomas. So there's a lot of overseeing. There's a lot of, you come across your problems. When you're running 11 trucks and you have 20 some odd people operating, hello, come on in. Oh, okay, come on.
Come in and say hello.
Say hello. Yeah, please.
Say hi.
Hi. Hey.
Yes, there is. You know what's so funny is that I'm still doing all the overseeing. You know what? I still
say hello. Yeah.
I still take pride in taking all those phone calls and running our schedule.
So is that what you mainly do on a busy day? I mean, waiting and talking and communicating and just whatever obstacles they come up against, helping making decisions.
Absolutely, and that's kind of where I hang out now. Right, is for myself is again doing all the bookings, setting all the schedules up. And then again, I'm blessed to have. I'm working with the caterer and my partner in crime, Alex. She's with the Hostess for Hire. She runs the staffing portion of that. So now it's kind of where I split myself. So now that staffing portion,
Is she okay
handles
behind you?
care, which is great.
Is she okay behind you?
Oh yeah, her.
All right, because I'm all right. I just want to make sure. All right, so
I'll let her this way as we talk. Go ahead, baby. Go here. Go with mommy. All right. That's called live radio for you.
All right. I just want to make sure she's okay.
But nah, she's great. So yeah, so that's her. Yeah.
Tell us more about that. The running of the operation. Yeah.
Sure. So as I've gotten bigger and bigger, the thing is for me is how do you manage your time, right? Because you want to keep overseeing the growth of the business, but at the same point, you can't touch everything. It becomes impossible. There's too much. So I said, okay, if I have to hire employees, if I have to, coach employees, if I have to train employees, that's going to be impossible for me to do and continue to grow this and oversee, again, the bookings, the calls, touching the customers, the whole thing. So I had this brilliant idea of, well, why don't I bring in sort of a person or agency that will handle all of that, who understands, the bartending nature of it, understands the catering, understands how to work with a client business. And then it just kind of dawned on me. I said, why don't I look for a hostess company, someone who does private hostessing right now, where they bring in servers, waiters, bartenders, workers, etc. I'm very lucky and blessed. Again, my very, very, very dear friend, Alex Kreb, she has her own hostess company. And it's kind of cool. We have a great partnership where I just dial everything in and say, hey, this is where the party is at this time. She trains her people on how we run the Airstreams, how we cook the food, serve the drinks, etc. And essentially, we now just drop the Airstreams off. Her team comes in, sets it up, works the party, breaks it down. We come pick up the Airstream. It makes it incredibly easy. It's super efficient. And Alex is a gem. She, again, not only does all this, but still runs her own hostess company. Her staff is the best, and I could not do it without her. Amazing.
Wow,
really incredible.
You're great. You're running a business there for sure. That's
absolutely
great. Yeah,
absolutely.
What do you think, Sal?
I'm overwhelmed.
I'm still overwhelmed, and you know what? Like, again, it's one of those things that you kind of envision, like, oh, this is something I would like to do, and I hope it gets there one day. And just all of a sudden, you're working it hard every day. I've done a ton of networking, things like this.
Gotcha.
A lot of podcasts, a lot of vlogs, a lot of always moving and grooving. And then all of a sudden, you just kind of look up. You're like, I made it. And again, blessed for many reasons. Blessed because I have such people around me. And
isn't that so right? You just put your head down.
A lot of luck.
You keep chugging along. You get some grace, luck, coming in. But then all of a sudden, your head lifts up and like you arrive someplace to the next level.
You know what though, Gary? Like you said, a lot of luck. But somebody could have a lot of luck, but if you don't execute when you have those opportunities, like you did exactly what you were supposed to do. Pick up more Airstreams. What were you doing before when you had a couple? Were you breaking down and resetting up new scenes?
I was doing everything. I would work one Airstream myself, set it up, work it, break it down, bring out the next Airstream, again, set that up, work it, break it. And so I pushed myself. I always like to push myself to a point, to a breaking point where, I can't do this anymore. It's physically, mentally, emotionally impossible to do this. Now I can kind of step back and go, all right, how do I fix that piece? How do I move somebody into that piece to take it over? And then, again, really excruciate myself to the next point where, okay, I can't do this again. I can't do this anymore. All right, now I need to step back, insert someone or something else in that spot.
That's exactly right.
And that's sort exactly of how I just, it's just small steps. Just I look up, I got 11 Airstreams.
Yeah.
So
and that's how you grow appropriately. You know what? You always have to lead with that work. And when you exhaust the possibilities and yourself, that's time to put someone there. Now you know the function, you put someone there and you move on to the next. Yeah.
Totally. And again, like I said, it's cool to do it here on the island. Again, meeting great guys, you talk all the time, guys like yourselves. And again, love it here. I know, again, it's expensive to be here, but again, I would rather do it anywhere else.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know what it is? A lot of people don't realize, like, people try to build these, like, international companies, right? When you live in Long Island, there's enough money for everyone here.
There's 3 million people here.
There's plenty of people, plenty of money.
I need per Airstream. I need 50 yeses per Airstream.
Exactly.
And a lot of people sometimes don't realize you got Brooklyn, Queens, is Long Island. There's a lot of people. Nassau, Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau, Suffolk.
All it takes is, again, just a semi-decent idea, a lot of elbow grease, and there's a way to make it here. Absolutely.
So, Thomas, this was an incredible podcast. We want to have you back on in the future. You got to update us here because I like this.
Book it. Listen. When I look down next time, better say episode 28 or 34. I'm coming back on. It's all good, boys.
Awesome. So, before we head off, though, I wanna ask you if there's one thing you could say to an entrepreneur or a small business who's just getting started. What would it be?
Small steps. When I started, I had no more than I literally liquidated my 401k so I could pay a year's worth of my mortgage, but that was all the money I had. I literally started this business. I think I had the screenshot somewhere up here. I'm gonna try to pull it down. All right. No, all right. I'm gonna leave it. The bank statement says it's like $680 some odd in the bank. That's it. I didn't come from money. I didn't come from anything, but I knew I wanted to do something big. But all I said to myself was, what is the first smallest step I can take to begin earning? And that was, again, coming up with a wedding table. So, okay, I have this, whatever that skill is, whatever I'm doing, right? Whether you're creating a podcast, creating a vlog, or you have whatever skill it is, just take that one small step. It doesn't have to be this grandiose thing of, I want an Airstream business. I got to start with an Airstream. No, I just started with a table.
And if you could give one piece of advice to what is it about your makeup that makes you succeed? What is it? Just that gives you the strength, the foresight, the stick-to-itiveness that you need to develop this business? What have you been blessed with that you can say, this is my greatest asset?
I'm gritty, man. I'm gritty. You can't take anything away from like now you can't tell me nothing because I'm so overconfident now. Like, it's terrible. But to me, it's been great. Like, the first year, I look back, I didn't make any money the first year. I spent more than I earned. And we were 2 months behind the mortgage. Bills weren't getting paid, but I was just gritty. I had supreme belief that this would work.
And you had a lot of faith too.
I did. I had a lot of faith, and I just believed in what I was talking about. I believed that this was going to work, and sure enough, right? Again, you just get out there. You have to, even though you have belief and you're gritty, just like Sal said, you gotta work it every day. And so I would go out. If I saw a field of parents with all their kids are playing soccer, I would just stop with the Airstream and open it up real quick just so people could see it. And sure enough, couple phone calls, started making money, and then I was off and away. But I haven't stopped working it. Day one to whatever it's day 1,000, 200 something. Yeah. I'm still working it the same. I have belief that, again, when people see this and the reviews say it, everyone says it, it's the biggest blast you'll ever have.
Amazing.
And I stand by that.
And now, one last thing. If there's one thing you could say to a future client who is watching this video, what would you tell them?
If you book me, you won't be disappointed. End of story.
Plain and simple. I love it.
It'll be the best thing you'll have. Best thing you've ever done in your life.
Awesome. So, guys, you heard it here first. Thomas Francis and his Airstreams. The link will be down in the description box below. Give him a call. Let him know we sent you. If you're having a party, you don't book him. I don't know what you're doing. We love this guy. Me and Gary are going to book a block party this week. We're going to figure something out. So, without further ado, I'm Sal Liotta.
And I'm Gary Lombardi. And it's been a pleasure, Thomas. And we hope to speak to you more in the future.
Yep. Thomas, sign us off.
You guys are aces. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right. Have a good one.
All right.